Hel- Hi, everybody. Good morning. Just- Good morning. Good morning. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Let me just kind of um I I was supposed to be on from since 9:30, but of course, as usual, I am struggling with my lighting, and I've kind of changed around office my office space, and so I'm trying to find a nice little balance with it. So now it's like, okay, the light is different, it's dark, I have to put it at a particular angle. It's just one of those things that you have to work with, especially when you're not in your own space, so you don't get to design what you want. Anyway, happy Saturday. I missed you guys last week. I missed you guys last week. Um, we had, and I keep saying this because there may be people on here who don't, you maybe uh, you may have stumbled on me, and not know. But, I'm still, if you don't know, I'm still working my 9 to 5. I think it's your phone, Nat. Somebody on Instagram is saying they can't hear me, but my audio is up. Anyway, um, what was I saying? So I'm still working my 9 to 5, and last week we put on an event for, I'm not sure why. We put on an event for our staff, and so, you know, I was really, really out of it after that event. And so that is why I wasn't here last Saturday. I do have the content live stream for last Saturday, so I'll probably share it at some point. Because last week I was speaking about empathy in my posts for the entire month of February. I was going to say for the entire month of Valentine's. That's what happens when you don't get your coffee yet. For the entire month of February, I'm really talking about sharing tips and strategies and giving you tools and trying to bring awareness to how you can, implement self care, self love with not only the people on your team but also yourself, because you're not you won't be any use to anyone else if you don't take care of yourself. And so this week, today, I'm talking about rituals for success. This week would have been Valentine's week. We would have shown love to the persons in our lives. We would have shown love. One of the challenges I gave on Monday is to show love to the people that show up for you, show them appreciation, the people on your job that really have your back, right? These are the um, people that you can call at the last minute. These are the people that give you a heads up. These are the people that are in your corner. These people need to be recognized, right? And so I challenge you on that. I don't know if anybody saw that post, but I would encourage you to go back and read that content. So I haven't introduced myself yet. Let me introduce myself. My name is Waveney, and I am a leadership coach. I help new managers develop leadership influence by mastering their relationships at work and leveraging their communication skills. Interpersonal skills, they never go away. And as a leader, it's so important that, and especially if you're new in management, it's so important that you develop and keep on developing your communication and keep on developing those work relationships, right? These are critical parts, these are critical aspects of your leadership. Aside from your competency, what you know, your experience, these have a high um, weight, well, carry a heavy weight in how successful you are. And so let me just move into um, today's topic. So for many of us, and if you see me just looking all over the place, you know that I go live simultaneously both on Instagram and on Facebook. And I'm also looking at my notes so I can, you know, not forget any essential points. So some of us, you know, go through our lives and our careers without any thought of the big picture. We are just, I wouldn't want to say satisfied, but we're just focused on gaining the results and doing our jobs, and we are just not focused on the bigger picture. We don't recognize that we are the ones that are driving all that, right? And each of us, we have a home, we have a professional life, we have a personal life, we have families, we have friends, and we may want to believe that, each one, they just compartmentalize, like, okay, there's work over here, there's play over here, there's my friends over here. And but the truth of it all is that each one affects the other. Because if you are having an issue with, let's say, your relationship, your spouse, your partner, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, or even one of your friends, you show up to work and you're not going to be 100%. It's affecting you. Maybe you had a big blowout, right? And it's going to affect you. So for us to say, well, let's just leave everything at the door, I think it's a wrong thing to say. I think that we should say, okay, let's just be more mindful of how this is playing into how it affects our job. And if you can't perform well, then you shouldn't be at work. That's what I think. But I come from a hospitality background where your presence, your engagement, your personality is needed. It's a requirement, your interpersonal skills, and anything that is really interfering with that is going to interfere with the experience that the guests have, right? And so um, that we can't just say, okay, everything is in a different compartment. It affects each other. And so um, we may think that, like I said, our experiences, our connections, that could sustain us. But the truth is, we need to start taking care of us. It it all starts it all starts with us, right? um, we have to learn to lead ourselves first. We have to take care of ourselves first. On Wednesday, I shared on the Wavelength Wednesdays, the short training tips that I give. I shared with you guys how I was so burnt out at the end of last year. And I did it to myself because I think that I am a superhero. And I kept on lying to myself, just saying one more, one, I'll do this thing one more time, one more time. And sometimes we get into that. So someone on Instagram is saying, came for this message today. Actually, she is my old boss. So thank you for joining. Yes, we all need that, right? And especially, and I'm going a little bit off topic, especially as women, we tend to, I think, I think everybody does it, but I think as women, we, especially if we are in high pressured roles, especially if we are in senior leadership roles, especially if we are in roles where um, maybe it's dominated a lot by men, it's our first role. We put this pressure on ourselves to prove, and we have to be very, very careful with that, right? We have to be very, very careful with that and find a balance. Otherwise, what will happen is we'll find ourselves trying to get it all done, trying to prove, and then we are of no use to ourselves. We will burn ourselves out. Okay. So we have to find a way to center ourselves. We have to find a way to focus. We have to find a way to go back to feeling supported, right? And sometimes it all starts, not sometimes, sometimes it's not the other people, like other people in our lives are supporting us, but we need to support ourselves as well. And if you are a woman, you know that during our cycle cycles, like we have different moods and emotions, right? These are things that people don't talk about because you're supposed to figure it out, you're supposed to have it down pat. But the truth of the matter is, we have we work on cycles, if you know what I'm talking about, right? I'm not gonna I, I don't have a diplomatic way of saying it. We work on cycles, and we have different moods, feelings, and emotions at each particular stage of the cycle, and we have to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves. I'll give you an example. I haven't. I love spin. I haven't gone to spin from since the pandemic. I plan to go back, but I haven't gone. But I would realize that there's certain periods when that time of the month when I would spin, I am so tired. I am very, very tired, right? And spinning just took all the energy from me. And I was, hey, hey Simone, good morning. Spinning just took all the energy from me, and I was still trying to push myself, right? And it still happens at that particular time in my cycle. My energy is very low, and I have learned to just be aware of that and just tailor my exercise, tailor my activities to suit that. Okay. And if you're listening this and you are female, just think about it. Think about what is going on during that time, and think about how you could support yourself during more during that period, the different periods. So you might be saying, well, what does all this have to do with me being a successful leader? What does this have to do with anything? It has a lot to do with it because our feelings and thoughts and emotions, they drive our behavior, and we cannot show up best for ourselves, or even, well, we can't show up best and execute what we're supposed to execute if we don't take care of ourselves. If we are feeling low, if we're, we have certain things going on. So we have to really take care of ourselves. So Simone is saying, for those of you on Facebook, I can relate. There are times in our cycle when we are super productive, and yes, and another week when we have absolutely no energy. I'm telling you, it's a real thing. It's a real thing. I am going to share an app with you, and for anybody else who wants to know it, I'm going to share app with you that um, that I use. Um, so let me get further into my topic, but I just wanted to put that out there and just to let you know that if you're a female, that you're not crazy, you're not you're not trying to do the most. It is a real thing. So having a routine and a ritual, and I call it a ritual because it's almost like a sacred religious rite that you do over and over to set yourself up for success, right? That is this is the thing that you're going to do to center you, to focus you, so that you could go out into your day and you could live to fight another day. Now, if you are male, it may look very different. But when you look at the most and study and read, the most successful people in the world, or people that you deem successful, I wouldn't say more successful, but successful people, they all have realized that they need to pour into themselves first before they pour into others. And so when you have a ritual and a routine, you are focused, right? It helps you to get focused. It helps you to center yourself. Sometimes we're all over the place. This was me yesterday. Like my brain was like this, go like this. I just, there was so many things, like so many tabs open in my brain. At one point, I felt like I was going like a little crazy, right? So it helps you to center yourself. It helps you to develop awareness. We need to learn to develop a heightened sense of awareness. Sometimes you meet people and they say things, they do things, they behave in a certain way, and you're wondering what the hell is wrong with them. Do they not know? They don't have any awareness. They're not emotionally intelligent. And I spoke about this. Um, I think it's the first week in February, and I did a live stream about, emotional intelligence and stuff like that. So having awareness for your with yourself is key, and you develop these things through these rituals that I'm going to share with you. um so the first one is meditation, and I really like this. No, lots of people will tell you that they can't meditate. There's no such thing as can. The problem with us is that we want to um have try to implement a habit. We want it to work like this, and it doesn't match. It doesn't happen like that. I started meditating in 2014, October 2014, and I would sit down and my brain would be all over the place. And that is what usually happens, and that is why people usually quit, because their brain is all over the place. They think that it's supposed to be quiet. Sometimes it doesn't happen that way, especially if you're learning something, especially if you're learning something new, right? And if you are working in a high pressure job, like there are studies that say that you should be meditating like twice a day. Twice a day. I'm not doing it twice a day. I want to, but I need to find the time. I need to organize my life, so I find that time to do that. But meditating is really huge, and it's just sitting still. You sit in silence, and you can do a guided meditation. There's an app, Insight Timer. There's another one called Headspace. There's so many out there, and you just sit. I started out with the guided meditations, and that really helped, especially if you're starting out. But meditation slows you down, and that is what you want. It's slow. You are sitting still, you are focusing on your breathing. Breath is life, right? And I know this, it may sound a little bit woo woo for you, or to you, sorry. It may sound a little bit, what is she talking about? But I'm telling you, just look at any successful person, Google, do your research, find out what are their routines. Most, if not all of them, have some sort of meditation. And meditation isn't prayer, because prayer, you're talking to the universe, you're talking to God. This is sitting still in stillness. So many ideas can come to you in stillness. So much things that can come up during stillness. It's me to do it midday to clear my mind and get refreshed. So you're gonna do it at midday? I don't have time at midday. I'm gonna do it. I usually do it. Oh, it helps you to do it at at work. Okay, so someone on Instagram is saying it helps to do it at midday to clear her mind and get refocused. So it may not work for you for mornings, it may work at midday, it may work in the evening, right? Actually, that's a great point, because your day starts and then you try to recenter yourself. I'm going to try that. I am going to try that. And you don't have to sit in a big fluffy cushion and like, you don't have to do that. But just, just if you, just for a moment, if you just sit still, let's just, I'm not going to, I'm not going to tell you to do meditate, but if you just sit for a moment and observe your breath, right? Most of us would realize the change in our body, right? Like even me just kind of slowing down like this and kind of like breathing like this, I could already feel a change in my body. I could already feel relaxed. And if you are looking at this now, one of the ways we hold stress and tension in our bodies is in our jaw. And so right now, why don't you try to relax your jaw? For some persons, you would realize that you've been clenching, like there's a tension there that you don't even realize. Okay? And this is what we are like most of the time during our day. We are going to be having difficult conversations, right? We're going to be interacting with somebody who's probably unpleasant, and we have to, I say, psych up myself. Like when I have to interact with certain individuals, people, not difficult, but maybe their energy is a bit off, maybe they're very negative. I have to kind of build that up. And your body, without you realizing, holds that tension. If you are, say, for example, you have to do a presentation, right? Or you have to do an event, you are tense, right? You are tense. You're tense. You're on high alert. You maybe you 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 may not have gotten the correct sleep. You're tense. Your body is tense, and so meditating, slowing down, is a great way to refocus and center yourself. And quick meditation, you can just start with 5 minutes, and you're just focusing on your breath, in and out, in and out, in and out. Set a time of 5 minutes every day, and you start from there, right? And you'll see the difference. You'll see the difference. You'll feel the difference in your body, right? So I wanted to put that out there about meditating. That's a huge self-care ritual that I would encourage everybody to take up. So the next ritual I want to talk about, which is very um, different, is to have fun. Do something fun. And when I say do something fun, do something fun with you. Do something fun for you. Do something that gives you pleasure. Do something with yourself. I wonder if I have it over there. Um, the reason why I'm encouraging you to do this is to unlock, when you have fun, it unlocks your creativity. And you want to be creative as an influential leader. Now, you may say, well, I'm not an artist. I'm not it's not about that. Creativity comes in different forms, right? Creativity is about um, perhaps you have a particular process at work, and while you are having fun, you think of a great way to re-energize that process. Or maybe you're going to do a meeting, and you know while having fun you come up with a good way to deliver a particular type of message. So having fun unlocks your creativity. It stimulates your imagination because you are thinking. You're not trying to control and force and manipulate and schedule. You're not doing that. So have fun. And I'm not talking about going out to drink. Have fun. I wonder, give me one moment. I want to show you guys something. other day, the other day I bought a coloring book, right? Do not judge me. Do not judge me. I bought a coloring book for adults and it really helps. I had seen these before and I told myself I would get one. And like a few days, I found myself just coloring and just getting caught up and just being really relaxed. And so they sell these on Amazon as well. I got these in a local. I will. The lighting is good on Facebook because it's not good for me here. Um, I found it in a local supermarket, so you could get it on Amazon. And so, color, do something fun, right? To stimulate your imagination and to unlock ideas. And this is a form of self care because you're in a relaxed mode, your brain is not thinking, and it doesn't have to be about work. Maybe you may a thought might bubble up with something that you want to do in your personal life, right? So have fun. Um, Number three, of course, exercise is going to be on here. And here's the thing with exercising, find something that works for you. Or the coloring, yeah, it's really fun. Going back to my coloring book, it's about the mandalas. I think I did this one. Oh, I didn't show you on Facebook. So, exercise. Find an exercise that works for you. Everything is not for everybody. And one of the things I've been thinking about and experimenting with, especially as female, I think that probably during the different parts of your cycle, your exercise should be different, right? During the times that you have a high energy, you probably should go really hard with cardio. During the other times, you probably should be doing something else, right? But exercise is is good. This as well stimulates your brain. It it unlocks thoughts, right? Okay, I haven't gone in a minute. Um, Outside is a bit too dark, but after the gym, I used to run and walk at mornings. And I would do that from Tuesday to Friday, unless it was really raining. And then I would come home and then I would be doing like sit ups and crunches and stuff like that. All right. I am just doing the crunches because it's very dark out. So I'm not going to venture out. Pretty soon it would be light. But I was getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning. No, getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning is very like it is not easy. Like it takes discipline. I am not telling you to get up 5 o'clock in the morning. All I am saying is find some form of exercise that gets your body moving, something that works for you. Because what works for me will not work for you. Okay? So get the circulation going in your body and exercise. And we have to put ourselves first. We have to do this for us because we are putting our jobs first. We're putting our families first. We're putting everything else first. And then we're going to get burnt out. And then we're not trying to find time for ourselves. So please, I'm imploring you, it's important. The fourth thing I want to mention is journaling. I have journals all over, all over the house. One day my brother came to visit me and he was like, "What is going on? Like you have they're everywhere." Yes, they are. They're everywhere. I have a journal for everything, right? I am not telling you to go out and buy a trillion journals, but what I am telling you is keep a journal with you. I journal at mornings and I it's more like a gratitude type of journal. Sometimes other thoughts come up. Sometimes I'm affirming myself in that journal. There's another journal that I use to jot down business ideas, right? If you don't have a business and you're listening to this, just have a journal for work ideas or just ideas in general, right? But writing out your thoughts, writing in itself is very cathartic. It's very healing. When you see something on paper, it becomes more real. But sometimes when you see something on paper, you're like, no, this isn't it. Or this, yes, this makes sense. Or maybe I'll do it another way. So writing really helps, right? Sometimes we can get so caught up in our head, but when we put it on paper, it all makes sense. Okay. I know this live stream is a little bit long, but it is very, sorry, it is very important that you start to cultivate these habits. The next one, I think this is the last one. Oh, no, it isn't. Two more. The last one is, well, not last, sorry. I haven't had my coffee. Did I say that? Yes. Eating healthy. Eating healthy. Try to incorporate. I am not telling you, mind you, to change your diet. I'm not telling you to be like me. I currently, at the time of this recording, I don't eat meat. I do eat seafood on occasions, but chicken, pork, beef, I don't eat those anymore. I'm not telling you to do that. What I'm telling you is to find something healthy to put into your mouth and your bodies, feed your body. So for me, when I started on this journey, and I started in 2014, I was um, I was going through my, a breakup, right? And I started looking at ways to support myself. And that is where the meditation started. That is where the journaling started. And this is where the healthy eating started, right? Because I wanted to do something for me. So I have been on this journey for quite some time. And after I started being on this journey, I started reading more and I realized that things such as these, like these habits, are habits of successful people, right? So, eating healthy. One of the ways, when I started, what I started to do, I started with a green juice every morning. Green juice every morning. And at that time, I was doing spinach, banana, um, the base was green tea, right? Spinach, banana, probably some kale, and that was it. Something along and cucumber and something along that line, right? Now, um, I go very green, so I use coconut water. I might have kale or spinach. I do turmeric and I do ginger. Um, there's sometimes I do, and sometimes I do just beets, right? I'm on a beet one. That's what I do, but I don't put milk in it. I don't. It's very green, like green. And it is a great habit to farm. It's a great habit to farm because I feel good. I am feeding my body. If I don't eat well for the rest of the day, I know I've taken care of my body. That's the way I see it. And so for you, it may not be a green juice. It may be a green smoothie. It may be a salad, right? It might be a healthy salad. Maybe you say, every day or every other day or 3 times a week, I'm going to eat a healthy salad or I'm going to eat more fruit. But incorporate, this is self care for you. And when you do things for you, your self love grows, your confidence grows. You're doing it for you. This is independent of anybody else, especially for those of you who have children. Parents tend to pour everything into their children and keep neglect themselves. So do something for you. Realize, if you realize, I haven't spoken about anything about the spa and doing your nails and all of that. Those things are important, but the exercise, your journaling, you're building your inner self, right? You're building your inner self. You're taking care of the inner you, which then helps with your thoughts, your feelings, how you show up and execute. It's a way of showing yourself self-care and self-love. It's building that self-love because if you don't love yourself, then nobody else will be able to love you. And it is the absolute truth. Okay. So start taking care of you. Stop putting others before yourself, right? And some of you may say, well, it's easy for you to say you don't have kids. That's true. Very easy for me to say. But I have been guilty of putting others before myself. If we are in jobs and we are overachievers and we're ambitious, we put our organization, it might be a child, it might be a partner, or it might be a spouse, but we put the organization and the needs of the organization before us. And that's a big mistake because jobs will always be there. Yes, we might like that particular institution, but you are of no use to the people on your job. This is how you show up. I know when I am not taking care of me, when I'm getting to the point where I'm burnt out, I don't have any patience. I usually have a lot of patience to deal with persons. Being in HR, you need patience. It's just like you need to have an added dose of patience. But I can tell when I'm tired, when I'm not taking care of me, because I start getting really like a real short fuse, right? So you have to take care of yourself. So eat healthy, right? So even if you walk away from this live stream, select one thing that you could do, one good thing that you could eat or change. And this is the thing, right? This is where people get mixed up when they go on these crazy diets and they want to lose all this weight. They're going about it the wrong way. It's not about losing weight. The goal should never be about losing the weight. It's the wrong goal. The goal should be, how can I make myself more healthy for me so that I could show up as my best? That is the goal, right? This is why I was able to sustain all these habits, because it was never about any external. It was never about the vanity metrics like how you look, right? It's about you taking care of you. Does this make some sort of sense? I hope it does. Um, then learning. Yes, I have learning as a ritual. Life is not a one and done. Maybe you went to school, you have your degree, or maybe you've worked at a place for a very long time and you feel like you know it all. That is really your ego, and you have the experience. That's great. But what are you learning? How are you continuing to learn? You need to stimulate your brain. You need to keep learning for you. You need to keep learning so you can feel more confident. When you're learning, when you know stuff, you show up more confidently. And form this is a ritual, and this is a form of self care. Whether it is you're reading a book, whether it is you are binging on the wavelength videos, my videos, whether it is you are joining Communicate to Influence, my coaching program. Yes, these are plugs, right? But you must be learning at all times. And it doesn't have to be a whole big thing. It could be something that you're just naturally curious about. Maybe you're curious about how to, like last night, I was looking at a video on how to make patties, right? Some vegetarian patties, and I'm going to try them at the end of the month. They look really good. Getting hungry thinking about it. But that's learning, right? Even as a business owner, me, having the people's brand, I have to keep learning, like learning how to, you know, this whole thing with social media, how to market, how to, put out content so that you keep coming back, right? A lot of it is like marketing and selling and all this stuff, right? Maybe the other thing I need to learn is how to fix my light, how to fix my lighting, so I'm not on here trying to like move stuff all around. Um, but you must be learning something at every day. And then lastly, I've been on here for like 39 minutes socializing with them. This now is where your friends come in, your family come in, having that family time. You need that support. You need to be around people that support you. And if you're not around people that support you, you need to cut them off, right? You don't need that kind of negativity in your life. Your job is already stressful. you already give so much to people. You need people now to pour back into you. So you're socializing with your friends. Like my friend had a birthday a few weeks ago, and she was staying on the neighboring island of Nevis, really gorgeous island. And we went over there. I went over there for the day. I wasn't able to stay for the weekend, but I went over there for the day, and I had so much fun. And especially coming out of this pandemic, that they had us locked in our house for like so long. Sorry. That's what it feels like. They had us locked in forever. It felt so good to be around people. It felt so good to laugh and to eat and to really socialize. And I think I needed that. We need to take those breaks, right? Take those breaks. And so this is what I have to share with you on this weekly chat. Your rituals, self care rituals for success. Be sure to share it out. Thank you for, really engaging. Thank you for coming on. Save it, save this live stream so that you could return to it when you need a reminder to take care of you. But really think about, I want you to walk away and think about how can you incorporate one of each area into your life. How can you do more of that? How can you get more pleasure, feel, really take care of you from now? Like make a commitment to yourself this year. The year, like this is just February, right? But how can you take better care of you? What are you eating? Can you commit to eating one healthy salad every week? And now I'm talking about it out loud. I'll probably start to do that because I don't like salad, right? Can you commit to at least exercising twice a week if you're not exercising? Twice a week, twice a week, twice a week. Monday and Wednesday, or do it back to back. Tuesday and Wednesday. And if you don't get to do it, don't beat up on yourself. Just there's the next week. That is how I started. And actually, with a lot of things that I implement in my life, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this, right? Especially when it came to eating, like cutting out the meat out of my diet, I would be like, yes, I'm gonna do this. Let me see if I could go for the whole week. Get to Thursday, stressed out. I want butter chicken with naan. That was my go-to with a rum and coke. Real good, right? um, but then I would be like, no, I have to continue. So next week, I'm like, I'm gonna go. And that is how I built that habit. So don't get discouraged if you fall off. How can you sit still? How can you meditate? Can you find 5 minutes out of your day? First thing, some of us, the first thing we do at mornings is grab the phone, grab our phones. We're not checking the time. Get get a clock, get an Alexa, get something. Don't grab your phone. What are you looking for? Right? You're gonna don't do that. Like for me, from 5, there's a do not disturb on until 8 o'clock on my phone. So if anybody is messaging me, if anybody is calling me, I'm not gonna hear it because that is my time to go through my morning routine. And you have to build those things into your life. You have to be first. Okay. So find a way to do to implement something, some change, something this week, something next week, something the other week, and start taking care of yourself. All right. And so thank you so much. I had fun today. It's a pleasure always. And if you have any questions, anything in the comments, share it out. Let me know how it works for you. I will talk to you on next week on another live stream, on another weekly chat. Bye. Oh.